So having grassroots venues is really important. But this is a challenge you'll find in cities all over the world, because there are various reasons why grassroots venues struggle, and some of it is simply economic. That grassroots venues, even when they're successful, operate on tiny profit margins. So it doesn't take much of an economic downturn for them to be really struggling. Also, there's the issue of property prices going up. Often, if you have a part of town that's quite cultural, suddenly it becomes more attractive to live there, so property prices go up, and then all the cultural people can't afford to be there anymore.
So you're saying that it's not an issue that only Barbados is facing?
Correct.
Right.
And then, of course, there's licensing issues that the local government has to balance the interests of all the different businesses and people who work there. And so the grassroots venues struggle in many, many countries. So the question, but it's absolutely vital to the future of the music industry that there are venues where young artists and new artists can play. So the question is, how do we overcome those challenges? And some of that is money. Some of it, though, is just policy. And as I think one of the things that was mentioned about the Toronto research is sometimes with licensing, we understand that a local government has to balance the interests of all the local communities, the people who live there, the other businesses, and then the music and the nightlife. But sometimes music and nightlife found that they're just bundled in, they're not treated separately. Okay, so things like noise rules. So the one example that Sarah gave was that there are just noise levels above which are not allowed, but they're treating a building site and a venue as being the same thing. And it's sort of like, okay, well, can we not separate those two and say, okay, if we're a nighttime venue, if we're a music venue, obviously local residents, we've got to protect their rights too, but is there some sort of compromise that we can come up with that works for everybody? Because as I say, when grassroots venues are going out of business, sometimes it's economic, but sometimes actually it's bureaucratic.